Michelle looked up at the clock. 6 o'clock already. She had overslept. The sky outside her window stayed dark, the kind of darkness that seemed unnatural for this hour. She remembered there hadn't been any mention of cloudy weather on the Magiscope yesterday, but apparently Mother Nature had other plans. Groggy, Michelle stretched her arms, rubbed her eyes, and yawned. The view beyond her window greeted her as she shuffled toward it. A large expanse of lush green lawn bordered by a dense pine forest. The trees looked like towering guardians, their shadows stretching long and dark. Separating the hotel from the woods was a small, withered shack that almost seemed to disappear into the scenery. There was something about it, something unnerving. Michelle shivered as an uncomfortable memory threatened to creep into her thoughts, but she quickly dismissed it and moved away. She got dressed in a hurry, throwing on her usual work clothes. The hotel's thick red carpeted hallways were quiet at this hour, save for the soft padding of her footsteps. She had already loaded up the cleaning carts with supplies and sent them off with the maids. Now she was headed to the laundry room, the place where her morning routine continued with Karai, a girl they had recently hired. Karai was a Muggle, freshly arrived from Japan. She had moved to town to be with her boyfriend Lucas. Though shy and not yet fluent in English, Karai seemed to like Michelle. Michelle suspected it was because of her size and age. At just 11 years old and standing at a stretch to the limit for 11, Michelle could seem less intimidating than others. As she walked toward the laundry room, Michelle spotted a familiar figure approaching from the other end of the hall. Uncle Theodore, Uncle Teddy to everyone, strode toward her with his usual cheerful demeanor. He was holding something in his hand, his excitement evident even from a distance. Uncle Teddy was her mum's older brother. After the accident that took her parents, he'd taken in Michelle and her older brother Michael. She had been too young to remember much of her parents, just 2 years old at the time, but Uncle Teddy had been her constant ever since. Michael, who was almost 7 back then, had taken the loss harder. Uncle Teddy had done his best to fill the void for them both. Now the 3 of them lived in a massive, creaky mansion just outside a touristy village in the Swiss Alps. 4 years ago, Teddy had bought the haunted place, yes, haunted, and transformed it into a hotel. They called it the Starlight Chalet, a name that somehow managed to sound both enchanting and eerie. Running the hotel wasn't easy. They couldn't afford large staff, so Michelle pitched in with the chores whenever she could. "Hey, Squirt, look at this." Uncle Teddy's voice broke her thoughts. He waved a rolled-up piece of parchment tied with a black ribbon. A glossy seal gleamed under the faint hallway light. "Would you believe a big old bat just delivered this? You should have seen the size of that thing, at least as long as my arm." Michelle raised an eyebrow as he shook the scroll in front of his face before carefully handing it over. "Seriously," he went on, "I thought I was going to fly off with me for a second." Michelle accepted the scroll and examined it. Her attention caught by the elegant black seal. The words embossed on the wax glinted faintly. "Apophis Academy, School of Witchcraft and Wizardry." Encasing the crest that featured 4 intricate symbols, a Celtic knot, fool's hammer, a lotus flower and a crane. Beneath the crest, the motto "Seek excellence always" was written in curved, graceful script. Uncle Teddy was still rambling in the background about the bat. Michelle ran her fingers lightly over the ribbon, heart pounding.